my birthday stash ad, I got a F-86 Sabre. And that reminded me of the F-86 Sabre I would see every few years when I would go to the Waukegan Air Show, which now I believe is called the Northern Illinois Air Show. And then after having attended the Commemorative Air Force Air Show last week, I thought I'd pull together and put out some more air show video. And if you haven't been to a regional air show, you really should check it out. They're very family friendly. For instance, this one has a static display in the hangar. Then it has, food and concessions, plenty of parking. And then you can see along the flight line, prior to the air show, you can actually walk up to the planes and check them out, and then they kind of blow a whistle and everybody moves back, and then there's always something going on in front of you. So there's either planes taxiing in front of you or taking off or landing, and there's 2 or 3 planes in the sky at a time. Just a blast. So I thought I'd share some photos of past air shows that I've been to with my kids and or my friends. So the first one I took pictures at anyway was back in '06. And so here you can see several T6 Texans. They actually form a team and do a demonstration. And they have various older jets like these T-33 Shooting Stars. Oh, and there's the F-86 that I was talking about. And we'll see this flying around later. And then some of the planes or aircraft that are on display, like I said, you can actually go up to them. For instance, in this Coast Guard helicopter, you can take pictures with it. And then just the variety of planes they have is awesome. And they have civil aircraft there as well. So I took my oldest and her friend there, and like I said, the kids really enjoy it. You'll see pictures later of the kids and a couple of their friends. And I've even talked to their friends since, and they're like, "Oh, you remember the air show? That was so much fun." And like I said, just family friendly. Here, you get to see these demonstration planes up close, and then later you get to see them up in the air. And again, just the variety that you see. Like there's a Stearman, and then this is a wing walker plane, which later he does a show. Old World War II TBD Avenger, and folding the wings right there in front of you, an old DC-3, and then these demonstration teams. These are old Soviet trainers that I guess these guys bought a bunch of them and made their own little demonstration team. And like I said, these are the T6 Texans, and they do a show. And then, like I said, when they land, they're taxiing right in front of you. And then I believe the Coast Guard does a rescue demonstration. Like I said, there's just always something going on. And then the kids kind of sit back and watch all the acrobatic flights, and get to see those planes that they saw earlier up close, get to see what they can do up in the sky with all their different loops and tricks and inversion and whatnot. And then here's the F-86 going up for a flight, along with the T-33 Shooting Star, and then they kind of do a tandem flight. And it's like total sensory overload. I mean, these jet engines are so loud and, zooming past you, and it's just so much fun. And then I believe that's a T-45 Gossick doing a tour. And then here goes the wing walker. And first the plane does a bunch of acrobatics, and then he gets up on the wing and does a bunch of crazy stuff. And then he comes down and signs autographs for the kids. So my daughter and her friend got an autograph. And that closes out the air show. So then here's the next year. And that year they had a car show as well. And this is, I've mentioned him before, my best friend Jim and his son, Ben, who he went on to be a Marine for 4 years, and now he's a fire jumper. He's one badass. We were at this one back in '07. Again, a bunch of the same planes. I think you saw a duck there that actually does a flight later. A Chinook helicopter, you get to go on and take a tour of that. And again, these static displays are just so cool. The kids get to go up and go on some of them. And then there was this car show there with some older antique cars. Again, the static displays in the hangar of all the different military services. And then the flag to start the air show. And a lot of those same performers, but some different ones along the way as well. Again, the T6 Texans, and they do just an awesome show. And then they do, these different formations, and then they do the missing man formation in honor of fallen heroes. There's that duck. And then just to get to hear what these old fighters sound like, the Corsair and the P-51, it's just so cool. They do high-speed passes and bombing runs and stuff, and then they land and they taxi right in front of you, and fold the wings right in front of you. It's just so cool. And then here a couple of years later, I believe these are L-39 Albatross fighter jet trainers that those guys put together to form a team. And then here again are those T6 Texans. And a couple other planes that were new this year, like that one I hadn't seen before. The Wing Walker guy was back again that year. I hadn't seen one of these before. And then these, I believe, are also older Soviet trainers, Yak 3s or something like that. And they form a team that flies together. Yeah, a really nice sunny day that day. And then I don't know what that is. I hadn't seen one of those before. I believe this was new that year. Oh, and then this is the year they had the F-18, which was pretty cool. L-37 Dragonfly, I believe that was called, and then some other trainers. The Stearman was back again, and then some cool civil aircraft. Again, this is a executive airport, so they have some cool civil aircraft there. The F-86 Sabre, and then the start of the air show for that day. And there's those Yak 3s, I believe they are. And there's that Albatross flight team, and then the T6 Texan flight team. Oh, and that's the world's fastest outhouse. It was a rocket-powered outhouse. Just some more shots of the various planes flying around. The T-33. Couple of T-33s that year. And then some of the acrobats. The F-86. I believe that's called a Dragonfly, that camouflage plane. Then 2013, as I recall, it rained that year, so I didn't get a whole lot of pictures. And there's both my daughters with their friends. Oh, and they had the Sky Raider that year, A4 Skyhawk. And then a P-51, that's on the poster. There's the kids on a police helicopter. And then they did the F-86 and a P-51 did a buddy flight. And then this is the last year I have photos for. There was a MiG-15 there that year. And that same P-51. And I believe the MiG-15 and the F-86 went up and kind of did a mock dogfight. It was kind of cool. And then the F-86 and the P-51 did a buddy flight. And this was pretty cool because I had never got to see a MiG up close like that before, so that was a rare opportunity. And the T6 Texans did their show again. The A4 did a mock attack with pyrotechnics. It was kind of cool. Like I said, these air shows are just a blast. There's always something going on, and just well worth it. If you get a chance, go out and just Google air show. And you should find something close by. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting. And as always, thanks for watching and happy modeling.